Let's talk about Bitcoin. Good morning, guys. Coming to you on this beautiful Monday morning here from Puerto Banús. And yes, we got to talk about the stuff that's going on in the charts right now. You can see it after the first green weekly close in 10 weeks. I mean, we had 9 weeks of downwards action, and now we finally found a green light in the charts. So what we're going to look at today is, of course, the confirmation levels that we're headed towards right now on the smaller time frames. And then we got to see what the targets right above there are. We're going to get confirmation on all the time frames. I'm going to look at the 4-hourly chart, the daily chart, the weekly chart, and then we're going to see where we can find alignment on all those charts to establish our targets. Now guys, you know we got some crazy action going on in the charts right now, but before I dive into the charts and the content, I gotta thank you guys for watching. You are my very first supporters here on YouTube. If you appreciate my daily grind here, then make sure to smash up the like button and help me beat the current resistance here. And of course guys, if you want to hang out more often, make sure to hit subscribe and the bell to get notified when I update the Bitcoin price here every single day, no matter where the market is going, up, down or sideways. Now guys, let's kick things off with some news. We have a huge event coming up, a milestone event for cryptocurrency on Tuesday, where there will be serious discussion about regulators entering the market. Something that I've mentioned in the past after we went through the whole Terra Luna situation just recently. And I told you guys, regulators need to enter the market. As I've said it before, crypto is still a bubble that's about to burst. And that doesn't mean that the entire asset class has no value. It just means that there are no real regulations in the market, which gives a lot of space for scammers to enter the market. We've just seen it yesterday again, a rug pull from an NFT company that Jake Paul was involved in. I mean, this stuff just happens on a daily. That's why it's important to have regulators to make sure that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the asset class itself, will exist for the long term. There needs to be balance between letting the technology develop and then of course regulating in a way that we don't see all these scams anymore. That's why it's important to have regulators to make sure that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the asset class itself, will exist for the long term. And now guys, of course, let's head into the charts, but before, let's take another look around at this absolute beautiful scenery around me here. Now let's dive into the charts. Alright guys, here in the 4-hourly chart right now, you can see the orange lines, the white lines, and on top here, of course, our targets, the green lines as well. And what we want to do now is establish once again where our confirmation point is, where we need to break out above and confirm above to continue to those green lines and our targets. And therefore, I want to drive all your attention here to this orange line right here, the neckline. You can see this marks the previous range high, which we challenged last week, but got rejected immediately. So here we went through the first resistance of the range. You can see a very strong resistance point here. Also through the moving averages, the green, the 20 EMA on the 4-hourly here, and the 50 EMA, the red one. And now we're sitting once again here below that very strong resistance line of the previous range highs. So of course, closing a 4-hourly candle above that would give us a strong indication for further upside, where we would be looking at those targets to the top now. And yes, these targets here are coming from previous strong support and resistance levels of the range. And there you see 35,500, 37,700, and right around 40K at the top. So confirming a 4-hourly candle above this orange line right here, closing above, building support, all this would be very bullish and an indicator to move up there. And the price that we're looking for right around 31,700 here in that region. Now let's move over to the Fibonacci retracement as well. Here you can see it. I mean guys, these are all charts that I've been looking at over the past weeks and days, and there you can see very clearly that the alignment is there between our confirmation levels and our targets as well. So as far as resistance for the range goes here, we can look at the 23.6 here. This line has been our strongest resistance point throughout the entire range. And now we see the very, very strong 38.2, the entry level for the high compression area of the Fibonacci retracement between the 38.2 and the 61.8. So here the 38.2, right around 32,300, that would be our confirmation level here from this point of view on this chart. So we want to close a 4-hourly candle right above here to get confirmation to move up then of course to the top of the compression area, the 61.8. And there we see the alignment with our first target that we just saw on the other chart, right around 35,300 here. And then we know the golden pocket between the 61.8 and the 65 is a notorious area for fake outs. and therefore we have the 78.6 here as the line in the sand to give us indication that we're breaking out of this trend and going to the upside, and that lays right around 37,300. So you see perfect alignment here with those levels that we've seen on the chart before. And of course here as well, the same neckline coming from the last major part of this dip here, right around 40K. So you see guys, perfect alignment on those confirmation levels as well as the targets to the upside if we break through the confirmation area. Right there in the area that we've tested last week already, and the neckline really of this range right around 31,700 to 32K, depending of course on which indicator or resistance line you're looking at. And yeah, if we clear above that, the targets are very clear on this time frame here, on the 4-hourly chart. And now we're going to head over to the daily chart, look at it over there as well, and get alignment on those confirmation levels and targets as well. Let's check it out. We're going to look to confirm those levels that we just saw on the smaller time frame on the 4-hourly chart, and here we can see it once again in the form of a Fibonacci retracement. But this Fibonacci retracement is the larger one coming from the entire downtrend here. You can see all the way up here from right around 48K all the way down here to our low right around 26.5, right? So now what we want to see here is if we get alignment of the previous charts with this chart as well. And for that we look at our first resistance here, the 23.6, right? The 23.6, once again, the first step on the ladder here on the Fibonacci retracement. And there you see the price right around 31,700. So exactly like the first 4-hourly chart that we looked above. And that means if we get a daily close above that level, we have a strong indication to go up to the next Fibonacci level, the 38.2, the entry level to the high compression area on the Fibonacci retracement, and that lays right around 35K. So there we have alignment between our confirmation area and our first target. And then if you look further up, the next level, of course, the 50, 37.5, and then the 61.8 right at the neckline where we took the previous Fibonacci retracement from, right around 40K. So once again here, perfect alignment on all the charts so far, and we are looking for a breakout on the 4-hourly basis and on a daily basis above 31,700 to clear that confirmation line and to get further upside to go to those upper targets here. Now you see on all the smaller time frames we have alignment on the confirmation levels as well as the targets. What's important now is of course the chart that I mentioned previously and that we've been looking at the entire last week. The weekly chart, and there of course there's a massive bullish pattern that's been developing over months now, and we are sitting right at the support. And now we want to see where's the resistance up. Does it line up with our targets? Let's see that as well. All right, here's the first really bullish thing that we can see in the charts today. And of course guys, this is a pattern that's been developing over months now, and a massive bullish falling wedge pattern. And what we can see here now is that we just got a green candle for the very first time in 10 weeks. You can see it right down here. And what we're trying to do right now is turn this trend around. A nice doji candle could be an indicator for a trend reversal. Usually better indication would be that we had more fight from the bulls here, meaning that the wick or the shadow would be going to the downside, meaning that the bears tried to drag us down and then the bulls pulled it back up and closed the candle higher, right? But that wasn't the case. We were much higher, closed it down, but nonetheless an undecisive candle that could indicate a trend reversal. So we looked at this before as well. Then we have to look at our targets here in this pattern, and therefore we need to look at the Fibonacci retracement once again. This is the Fibonacci retracement coming all the way from the 69K top down to the same low that we just looked at on the daily chart, right? And why don't we take the Fibonacci retracement from here all the way up and then retrace it on that? Because we put in a lower low now. So this retracement actually, if we take it from here, has been invalidated. So what we want to achieve here as Bitcoin bulls is hold the support line of this falling wedge here and test the first level on the Fibonacci retracement once again. Here you see it as well in the form of the 23.6, and look at the price, right around 35,000, in line here with the resistance of the falling wedge, and we get perfect alignment on all the charts therefore. Here we can see it. 35.5. That was the first target on the 4-hourly chart, on the other 4-hourly chart, on the daily chart, and now here as well on the weekly chart. By the way, sorry guys, if there's noise in the background, I don't know if you can see it here, there's a gas station, you got boats pulling up there all the time. Right guys, now we're gonna stay on the weekly chart, but I wanna show you something else. All right guys, another pattern that you should be very familiar with if you've been following. So this is also on the weekly chart, the RSI. And what we see here is a massive falling wedge, even bigger than the one that we've seen before. And this is coming here all the way from August 2020. And then we see here the January top of 65K, the summer lows, the 69K top. And now we bounced off this green line here in line with the support of the falling wedge. And the green line, what is this? Here we can see the low in March 2020 where we started the bull run from. So we landed exactly on the same spot here on the RSI. The RSI turned bullish or is facing upwards now. Now we want to see it test the resistance of this falling wedge here, of course. And here we can see that we're very close to the oversold area. Anything 30 and below is considered as oversold and a very likely area to find a bounce always. So you can see here, huge bullish divergence on the RSI of the weekly chart. Still a lot of bullishness left in the charts for Bitcoin. If you look at those larger time frames, I mean, we've lost the massive trend that I've been looking at in the past weeks on the monthly chart. And guys, here it comes again. I mean, I promise you the compilation is coming, but the one thing that's most likely for Bitcoin to happen is to fall back down to the area of the 200-week SMA, right around 22K, and then the 50-month SMA in that area as well, also right around 21K. And then the previous all-time high of 2017, right around 20K. So that range there, and of course from the Fibonacci retracement of the entire uptrend, we have the 78.6 there as well, the line in the sand. So between 22K and 17.5, we have an extremely likely area for the Bitcoin bottom, the most likely scenario for the Bitcoin bottom. Keep that in mind. Right guys, I'm gonna start meditating now. I wanted to get into the video before anything today to catch this beautiful sunrise here, and then back home into the charts. And as always guys, happy trading and see you very soon.